Hey everyone, welcome back to the Blakeneys. Sorry it's been a while. We've just been busy with saving, working, and getting ready to go into our new home. Today we wanted to go over Keegan's medicine for seizure control, and we really wanted to bring it up because we have dropped one of his medicines and we're very, very excited to finally drop that. So seizures being so complex, there's so many different seizure types as well as 40 different type of medicines. Along our road, we've tried at least, I think, 13 to 15 different seizure medicines. And you learn quick what works, what doesn't work, what has really bad side effects, what doesn't. But the hardest thing for us is when you find out something doesn't work, you can't just drop the medicine. You have to wean off the medicine due to side effects. So that's why we've been on Onfi so long, is because it is a very powerful drug. So it took us probably about 6 months to finally wean off of it.
Actually 8.
8, wow, so a very long time.
And that's not typical though. With our recent gain in seizure control, we were really hesitant to make any kind of changes in Keegan's medicine regimen because we were happy with having the amount of seizure control that we did, and we didn't want to make any changes too quickly. One, because they're so sedating that it's almost like bringing Keegan back to what normal life is, and that can be really overstimulating for a kid that's been through as much as Keegan's been through. So we wanted to do that in a really stable increment every month and watch to see if there was any slight changes or anything. So it's something that we worked really closely with our neurologist with for the last 8 months, and she even said we could take it more quickly, but just seeing the small changes that Keegan would make off of the small changes that we would make to his medicine was very overwhelming to him. He went from being totally sedated, not being able to hold his head up, to be able to live his everyday life again, and it just became a different kind of complexity that we wanted to really just take in as easy of a manner as we could for him.
So also with this process, when we first began, we figured out Keegan's seizure issues as well as GI issues. He was up on 16 medicines. We were doing 66 mLs twice a day of all kinds of different medicines. Hey Booger. Now we're very proud to only have 6 medicines and less than 20 mLs of medicine. We've worked very hard and advocated very hard to get to this point. And, it's a blessing that we have seizure control.
It really is, because Keegan is he is excelling leaps and bounds, and he's doing better than like anybody could have predicted. I remember when we were first diagnosed, everybody was really unsure, and that was really concerning for us because we were really unsure what life would look like, if we were ever going to be able to gain seizure control, if we were ever going to be able to see this lively little happy boy that we have. So we really wanted to come on and talk about our medications because this is one of the most frequently asked questions by other special needs parents that are dealing with the same scenario as Keegan. And so we wanted to come in and talk a little bit about his medications, what works good for him, what didn't work good for him, and kind of the good and bad things about seizure control medications. I think a lot of people are interested to know what works as well, and so we want to talk about it. Please consult your doctors. If you're trying to make any changes, consult them, talk to them. But this is just what works best for our family, and this is what works for Keegan. So we want to share that with you because in hopes that maybe this might help another family. Keegan used to be on a lot of seizure control medications as well as different medications to control his GI issues. So he's more complex than your normal kid would be. So for Keegan's scenario, he might be more complex or less complex compared on your kid's needs, but he does have a GI issue as well as a movement disorder. So he does take a couple of medications for those things that would be disassociated with anything epileptic, and so for those reasons we won't really state those medications he's on. If you'd like to see those videos, we will attach a link down below to see those videos if you haven't seen those. But as far as epileptic medications, we went from being on 5 medications just 8 months ago and we are currently only taking 2 epileptic medications. If you guys have never experienced a seizure, if you've never experienced epilepsy and had to deal with any of the medications, you're probably thinking, why was Keegan on 5 medications and he had hundreds of seizures, and now he's only on 2 medications that are working to control seizures completely? For every kid, it's going to be different. For Keegan's case, he was very complex, and it took a long time to find kind of the magic cocktail that worked for Keegan and that controlled his seizures. So that took us 1.5 years to figure out that, from the time that seizures presented themselves in our lives. And so for Keegan, he was on how many different seizure control medications?
13 total.
Yeah, so he has been on the course of his journey on 13 different seizure control medications. And during that time, we've tried a few of those at a time, combination with others at different levels and for different periods of time. And so that in itself was a very complex process to go through. And obviously a lot of those medications did not work for Keegan. He had very severe pain, nausea, he had an increase of seizures, irritability. Mostly he was just lethargic. Our goal was as little seizure medications as possible that were as effective as for Keegan as possible, which is very hard to figure out without trial and error. So we went through a lot of trial and error. We tried Keppra twice, we tried Topamax twice,
Lacosamide.
We tried lacosamide twice, Onfi or clobazam, and
there's so many other ones. Phenobarbital.
Yeah, we've tried phenobarbital, we tried
midazolam,
we tried diazepam, we tried benzos along with CBD. And if you want to see our CBD video, we put up a link to that as well. We tried a lot of things for Keegan that did not work, and
keto.
And yeah, we even tried the keto diet. So a lot of things for seizures to try to control them that are natural remedies, as well as trying to just find a good seizure control medication that was going to be effective for him and be able to have him awake and present and be able to progress and stop regressing or at just staying at a standstill. So that was a really long process. A lot of people thought, like, what was the one thing that helped Keegan? And it's just not a one thing that fixed all for Keegan. Keegan has a G-tube, he has an ileostomy bag now that's placed, and now he's on a good dose of seizure medication, and combined, all of that stuff has brought total seizure control to our life and maintained it. For right now, we are on 2 seizure control medications. So that is going to be lacosamide, or Vimpat is a different name for it, and we're also on Topamax. So those 2 seizure medications are what makes up Keegan's seizure control right now, and these are doing phenomenal for him.
For everyone trying to go through seizure control, it is a long, hard process, but keep up that fight, keep up advocating. You will find it eventually, and if you don't, at least you find something that is helping. That's just what we're all looking for, is just to help a little bit. So again, reach out to as many doctors as possible. We had 5 neurologists look at Keegan, and finally on the 5th neurologist, we got seizure control. So always just keep fighting, and good luck, and if you ever need help, please reach out.
We really hope this helps anybody on their path to seizure control, but we're always here if you guys have any questions about the other medications and our journey with those as well. A lot of parents have reached out to us, and we'd love to hear from you guys. If you have any questions, please comment below or feel free to message us personally. We'd love to talk to you guys. And if you found this video helpful, please like and share. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see